I had to go down there for my great grandmother's like 100th birthday party.
Damn, that bitch is still alive still?
She's dead now.
Oh,
thank God.
Good riddance.
This is back in the day.
Rotten hell.
Yeah.
Was she cool?
I mean, she was like my entire life. She was like
cool,
a billion years old.
Yeah.
I didn't understand what they're like. That's your grandfather's mom, and I'm like, nah, you're getting, you're getting a little too far. I'm still trying to figure out where dinosaurs fit into the picture with all this shit. My grandpa can't have a mom.
Grandpas don't have moms. What are you, a fucking idiot?
Yeah.
That's insane.
But yeah, no, she was like in a wheelchair. She always had like cataracts. She always like
Damn, yeah.
You remember that movie, The Others?
No.
All right. Well, it doesn't matter.
Did
There's
she
an
have
old
that
lady.
look of like terror on her face?
Yeah, she looked like
Yeah.
a witch.
Yeah.
You turn like a certain age and you just look like that
Yeah,
painting,
she,
like
like,
Scream.
white.
You should be able to kill.
And-
Like if someone asks, you should be able to shoot an old person
And
with a gun.
she was
Oh,
like that
yeah.
my whole
It would
life.
feel cool.
Like she was.
Yeah,
I
it'd
remember
be
her being
sick.
like on the brink of death, like my entire life.
Yeah.
And then eventually she did die.
Yeah. If you're having a party for that, like, does
I'm
she
sure
even
I've-
give a fuck?
I'm sure I've told this story on the podcast before, but one time, like it was probably her last birthday. It was probably
She
her
was sleeping and you put your dick in her mouth.
101st birthday. We're sitting in like the living room of my like grandparents' place, and she's like telling stories, and my grandpa's like enthralled, and she's telling this story about like fucking there's some Chinamen that sold apples on the corner, and her friend would go pull his tail.
Yes.
And she meant like the queue.
Yeah.
So she would like do this hate crime. And my grandpa's like smiling ear to ear, listening to this story his mom telling, and his balls are hanging out of his shorts. It's fucking just giant balls.
Just old ass balls.
The
They get
greatest
longer
generation.
and plumper with age.
Yeah.
An old man's balls gotta stretch, bro.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, and I
can't
was
wait
like,
to
"What
be
the
that
fuck
age."
is going?" I'm like, because I'm looking around the room, looking to see if anyone's recognizing that this is just a story about a hate crime.
And you see nuts.
And then it's like, oh, his balls are.
See
hanging
some
out.
big fat old nuts. That's fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah, but yeah, I think she lived in Florida. I don't know if she lived in Pensacola or there, because when we went down for that birthday, there was like all these extended family members that
Right.
I have no idea. They're like, "This is your cousin TJ." I'm like, "No, it's not," and I'm not gonna remember.
Yeah, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
I don't need more cousins.
Like second cousins are always named like TJ or JP, or they always have letters.
Yeah. Americans really don't fuck with their second cousins.
No.
It's like you are more likely to like a stranger than your second cousin.
Yeah,
if you're
and
an
Greeks-
American person.
because there's
marry
something
them.
sneaky.
No, how
there's
dare
something
you.
sneaky
Don't even
about
get
the
started.
second
Jews are
cousin
basically
thing.
all fucking inbred, so don't even start with that.
I don't deny it.
Yeah.
The second cousin thing is like sneaky.
We just
'cause it's
hook up
like,
with them.
I'm supposed to owe you something, even though we've never met.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Well, that's Greek people. We don't even like. We just consider them straight up cousins. Because that's the thing. I even think about it. If my cousin ever had a kid, I would consider that my nephew or niece. Like I wouldn't even consider it
Almost
like, a
any of the
second
people.
anything.
Oh well, that's
Because that's how
different.
close
Yeah,
we are.
my cousin has a kid, and I'm like, I would consider myself.
But that's a second cousin.
Granted, I've never met the kid, and never even said congratulations on them having the kid. But in terms of like the schema,
Yeah.
I understand the relational value,
Yeah, like
not the emotional one, but in terms of like the
course.
weight of that connection.
Of course.
If we were to describe it as like a network with bandwidths,
Yes, you.
there would be like a higher pass through rate between
course.
me and the.
Like my dad's cousins in Greece were my aunts. Like that's how we thought of them.
Yeah.
And they were pretty funny. One of them was like the neighborhood slut. Like we would meet.
Aunt Stavros.
No, her name was not Stavros.
You were named after her?
I was
named
not. I was
after her.
named after my
Wow.
He
grandfather.
was gendered.
First
after
of all,
her too.
Wow.
Stavrula is the woman's version of Stavros. It's not.
Aunt Stavrula.
Her name
So
was
your
not
real
Stavrula.
name is Stavrula?
My name is not Stavrula.
Wow.
My name is Stavros, the man's version.
The super head of Athens.
She was the superhead. Shouts out. I won't even say her
She
name.
sucked off the whole
just
team.
in case. But
She sucked off all of Olympiacos.
let's call her Sula. She literally, it was so funny because like,
are there any like Greek myths that involve sucking dick? Because there's a lot
almost
of
all of them.
Yeah.
a lot of them are like, oh yeah, Zeus fucked the dog.
Yeah.
And
Or
that's
like
where-
some slut.
That's
dude.
where the god of business comes.
Yeah. My favorite is Athena. So Zeus just fucked some bitch, and
Yeah.
then there was a prophecy that bitch's daughter was gonna like be like stronger than Zeus. So he found out she was pregnant, so he just ate her. He just ate her whole, and then Athena cracked through his skull, and that's how she came out. That's how he
nasty.
tried to get rid of his side bitch, was by swallowing her whole. Anyway, my girl.
That's some peasant shit to believe in.
Oh, we were all over it.
Yeah.
I love Greek
It's
mythology.
pagan.
I did too. When I was in 6th grade, I thought
Yeah,
that
it's
was the
cool.
coolest shit in
Yeah.
the
It
world.
rocks,
Yeah,
dude.
rock.
I love learning about Greece and Egypt. When Gladiator came out,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not Greece, but I
Yeah.
loved all that shit.
Oh
it
yeah,
rocks. So my aunt anyway, my dad's cousin, when we were like first going to Greece, and every time they would like it would be so funny because we would walk around the neighborhood and we would like introduce. Like my dad would be like, they'd be like, "Whoa, fucking! I can't believe you're back! Like, I thought you were in America." And like every dude we would see when we were walking with like my aunt, let's say Sula, they just were like, "Hey, Sula, what's up?" They were just like every guy they grew
Like
up
fucking,
with ran through her,
Like
dude.
Best in Show.
yes, exactly. Everyone had that knowing fucking smile,
Yeah.
and she was cool. She was still hot up, and I mean, I haven't seen her actually. But she was keeping it tight.
I've seen her.
She honestly, no joke, had a very much Samantha vibe. She really looked like Kim Cattrall. She had that bob.
Really?
I would go so far as to say she might have even like done a late in life makeover to look like Samantha from Sex. And she was still getting it in. She was when I was there when I was like 15, she was fucking some like I think she might have sucked off like a guy in the military to get her son out of having to serve or something.
You
She
can't
rocks.
handle
the old Forrest Gump.
She pulled the fucking Sally Fields like a champ. The reverse Sally Fields. Sally Fields got her son in to school.
Yeah, that's when my parents sucked to put me in the military.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Forrest Pump.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.